Yeah. Hey,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you? I just texted you. I'm like, am I in the right
Perfect.
room?
Yeah. What's up, Megan? How are you?
I'm excellent. It's only
Good.
7:30 here. How's 10:30
That's
over
it.
there?
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. I forgot about the time difference. You're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, in Phoenix.
Oh man. Sorry
Yeah,
about
I try to
that.
get up at, well, no, I try to get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, because, as you get older, like you don't really want to miss the day, and then you feel a little bit more accomplished to take a nap later in the day.
You're an early bird then, huh?
Yeah, I never used to be, but I think it's just, changing your lifestyle over the years, getting married and, having more responsibilities
Yep.
and yeah,
I
you
love
know,
it. That's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. So we got a few agents in the office here now.
cool.
We're gonna have some agents joining on Zoom. And then we have a lot of agents that are actually, they watch us. We make these available on like our private groups and stuff. So they
Sweet.
watch them after the fact, they're running around busy and stuff like that. So
Right.
we got a lot of them that are gonna be watching afterwards too. So I wish we had a couple more on just because, there'll be questions and stuff like that, but we'll write them when we get them, from the agents. I'm sure over the next week or so, they'll filter in.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
run them
and
out if
whenever,
it can
yeah,
be.
just reach out and say, hey, can you join our meeting or whatnot? That's usually how it happens. I
Okay.
mean, it's usually like a lot of the times it's kind of last minute, or hey, we threw this in or we decided to do this. And so
Yeah.
I try to be as agile as I can because I understand the industry. So
Yep. I love it. I love it. So yeah, we just got a few agents here in the office. We're just waiting kind of for them to funnel in. So if you don't mind just
okay,
hanging out
cool.
for a minute or two, I'm gonna plug the computer in, get it juiced up, and then we can start. I don't want to hold you up for too long, Megan.
Sweet, sweet.
Let's see, where is this? There it is.
Oh boy, official, you guys are stuck with me. Poor son.
Yeah, the cards make it official.
Boy. Like the picture behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's actually it's our hometown here.
Yeah, I know.
That's
From
right.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I totally forgot. Where
Yeah.
were you, Megan? You said you were in Jupiter or Stewart?
Yeah, in Jupiter. So I lived in the Bluffs. That's
Oh,
where I grew
okay.
up.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. What a small world, huh?
Yeah, I know. Well, when we were rebalancing our portfolios, as we get bigger, then we like have to rebalance. And with COVID, we just took off. And so, when you scale that quickly, you're like, I don't have enough people.
Yeah.
So when we rebalanced, I was like, oh, that would be kind of neat to work there. But, Eddie kind of, parsed everything out. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that would be a good fit. So we'll see.
That's awesome. So wait, how long have you been you're in Phoenix, you said, right?
Yeah, I've been here. So I graduated Jupiter and,
Okay.
right on time. And then I immediately left for Phoenix.
Okay.
And so I've been out here, for 20 plus years, but I did move back to West Palm when my mom got ill. And then when she
Mm.
passed, then I then said, okay, I'm going to go back. But the last time I was there was a few years ago, because then I try to go every year because I still have friends since I was, a kid. So, and
Yep.
a lot of them still live there.
Yeah. So you still got attachments here.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I've got roots there. Yeah, I'm trying to actually get out in 2022, but COVID kind of, killed everything. And then you're like, oh, the things I used to do, like were so out of routine. So
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the way the world is now, huh?
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
it's very strange to be back there and like
Mhm.
looking at it through the lens as an adult. And as a child, you don't appreciate how close you actually live to the beach.
Yeah.
Like I remember riding my bike, to the beach in Carlin, and
Yep.
but I don't, like, as an adult, I'm like, oh wow, that'd be fun if
You
I could
take it
live
for
there.
granted a little bit, right?
Oh, for sure. So every time I go back, I'm like, oh, I didn't even know a building could go in that space.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
The development here is getting crazy. It's
yeah,
huge now. Yeah, it's getting
yeah,
there. So, but yeah, well, I'm ready to roll if you are. If you want
yeah,
to, you want to do a screen share? You want me to set you up so you can screen share? I don't know if you have the ability right now or if I have
yeah.
to
Let me see
do.
if it'll let me. Let me just see if I
I
got
had
it
it set up
here.
before, so I may have to. There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
got it.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Oh, boy.
Sweet. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So we've got people logged on. You want me to just hit it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can roll with it. We're ready when you are.
Okay, cool. Well, hi, everyone. I am Megan Oliveri, your point of contact here at Chime. I'm a customer success manager. I am assigned to Greg as his point of contact for changes that need to be made on the account and on the educational piece. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to field requests from all agents now that we're so large. And when I say we're large, we're larger than we were where we could do that. So typically what happens now is agents will funnel into Greg, and then Greg will come to me. Now, since I am from Jupiter, I have a little bit more latitude here, and let's just make it like this. If anyone needs me and you really need to get something accomplished and it's not getting accomplished, please do let me know. I am fine with the directness. So
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I chose this account, because it is Jupiter. I understand the area, and growing up there, just a wonderful place to grow up. So what I'm going to do here today is I'm going to give you, I'll try to keep it brief to about, 20, 30 minutes, because this is such a robust system. I don't like to go too deep into it, but what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up sending Greg a survey, and I'd like him to send it out to all of you so I can poll you in terms of what it is that you actually want to learn. And then that way I don't feel like I'm taking up your time for, features and functionality that you already know.
Mm-hmm.
I did go through and I did spot check the account. And, you've got quite a bit of agents, which is very impressive. And what I saw was very good, in terms of some of the features that we're going to go over, but in terms of, integrations and profiles and things like that. Typically, what I see is that there's this core group, of agencies and brokerages to where they're kind of either split using Chime, or 80% are using, 20% aren't, or the opposite, or they're brand new, and then we've got to kind of ramp everyone up with the agent adoption. So, and then the way that the industry works, or actually just the way that we work as humans, when we're in an industry for a long period of time, we have all this knowledge, then to bring something else new in, like a robust CRM system, sometimes we're not we kind of like put it on the back burner a little bit, but until we can get to it and ramp up, especially like if we've changed our offices or anything like that. So this might be a little bit review for some of you. But I'm going to hit the best practices, and I'm going to hit what I saw, and I'm not calling anyone out, but just hit what I saw in all of your guys' accounts. So, and then I'm going to open it up for some Q&A and get the questions that you have, and then this will help me for the next time.
Cool.
Cool. Any immediate questions or burning desires off the bat?
I don't think so. Not at the moment. No.
Okay, cool. So let's kind of hop into it. I'm going to go into a demo account here. So this is my account that I play with and I like to train on. Let me go ahead here and get a little annotation tool here. I like this little spotlight that I have here. So just to kind of review, I like things that are asynchronous. And then what that means is I like to do things on my time and where I feel comfortable, so I can have a work-life balance. So if there's things that I have to do like right away, then of course it pushes a lot of things out. So this system there's a lot of asynchronous functionality to it, to where you can go and you can look at this stuff on your own, and you don't have to be on anyone's time schedules. So the way that we have designed the system is for people that like to read, people like me that don't always like to read when it comes to work. And I prefer screenshots, and then I will read because I'm forced to if I don't understand the screenshot. And then I like videos, and I like little snippets of videos. So we try to cover every type of learning style, if you will. So I'm going to show you that here in a moment. But as you log into Chime, you're all familiar with your dashboard. And I don't want you, when you log in, to just get in the habit of looking at the new leads, the opportunities, and the tasks that also, push out over here. I want you to encourage you to scroll and to see everything that's on here to catch your eye, because we've made this as a 360 review for you, so you don't have to go into a lot of other areas, because they will show up right here. So for instance, if we take a look here, I don't have any because it's a demo account, but listing analysis to monitor some of the new listings, hot sheets, right? You can start clicking into here. If Greg were to use any, to have any announcements, if he wanted to start using this box, he certainly could use that box.
So
Smart
Megan,
plan.
quick question for you, not to get you off topic, but if I make an announcement on there, is that just going to populate like when agents go on to their dashboard and see this, or is there
Correct.
the ability to like maybe send them a notification of some sort?
Yeah, they can get a notification in here as well, but it will, its primary function is to sit there for, for them when they log in. And I do have some clients that they are religious with their announcements. And some of the things that they do is like, sometimes it's just a quote, sometimes it's just something motivational. So it doesn't always have to be, hardcore business, but then
Makes
the
sense,
other
yeah.
ones, will do that. So yeah, you just kind of make it your own. Smart plans, which we're going to stay away from today, but I'm going to give you some high level, but it'll show you, your smart plans and any emails that went out. And of course, any smart plans that don't have any match leads to them. Property alerts, we're all familiar with that. And of course, this is very important, is that it will tally and show you the lead that was viewed. And then of course, leads that were saved. And that's kind of going to bleed into the opportunities and notifications that I want to turn your attention to. I'm going to show
Megan,
you
we have, sorry to interrupt you again. We have John, one of our agents, has a quick question for you.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, and interrupt as you have them. Go ahead, John.
Good morning, Megan. So we have a lead in Chime here, and we have a search criteria. He's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And as you know, he's living in Jupiter, so he wants a pool. But yet the search criteria is very generic: minimum price, max price, location, property type. Is there somewhere in the system where we can fine tune the search? Because otherwise he's going to get everything,
Right, exactly. Yep, I'll show you that, John. But basically the way to do that is to tag it. So you're going to create a tag. So almost like a hashtag. So if individuals are looking for oceanfront, or they're looking for, backyard, some agents will tag like pet friendly. And then that way they can go through and they can filter their tags. I'll show you that when I get into that. So that's a great question. And I will say this, when it comes to oceanfront, Chime customizes that a little bit, because oceanfront means different to areas that have, oceanfront. So it just kind of depends. And, so like out in Malibu, in that area, it means something different. It means the same in terms of like, there's water, there's a beach, but there's some specificity in there. So yes, that's a great question. I'll get to that and I'll show you. So going back to here, again, we're just trying to keep track of some things for you that you can, go over and that will just catch your eye. Your biggest, where I want to encourage you to look at your biggest opportunities for the day are actually called opportunities. So as the leads float in here and as they float in over here, you're going to have, a list over here that is going to show you everything that has, come out. Now, when you're looking at your actual opportunities, what makes them more advantageous to you is that the lead score, let me go in here real quick. The lead score, I just want to exit out of here real quick because it's pulling on one of your guys. And I don't like to go in there and mess with that. The lead score's got to be over 70.
Okay.
So yeah, so
And
if
you would
it's
say
over,
that's a good lead score, right? Like
that
I
is
was
an
always thinking like
excellent.
60 and over, but 70 is probably a better.
Good point. So, and I'll show you the lead score. I personally find like if they're around like, and actually I don't even discriminate really, like if they're around like in the 50s or whatnot, it as agents, it's, you know, it's your responsibility to go in there and see what's driving the score down. But when you call them, you may say, oh, whoa, you know, kind of like what John said, like, well, you know, I have to redo the search criteria, and then that's going to start bumping up things. So I'll show you that here in a minute. Yeah, but this is the one that you want to hop on. Okay. And then of course your tasks, as you know, create tasks for yourself, that will, you know, that'll just help you throughout the day. And if you're like me, you like to cross things off, because that's how you find your value in the day, and you know, your day doesn't run you. So that's this area here, just kind of a quick deal on the dashboard. Now, going up into the upper right-hand corner, like I said, the notifications and the tasks and the opportunities are here. This little search bar here that's hiding. So when you type in here, if you cannot remember, you're like, oh, I had this lead, like I don't remember anything other than, you know, their name had, you know, it was something like, you know, XYZ. The system is intuitive and it will pull it. So I'm a big Charles Schultz Peanuts fan. So when I set this up, I did a lot of Peanuts characters. So if I'm like, oh, you know, I know it was like Snoop or something, right? So it will pull everything that has that word in there, almost like Google. And it will show everything. So even though Charlie Brown came up, you can see it Snoopy Place, and of course Snoop came up as well. So if it's a property address, a name, or any sort of identification, you can use that and it should match. This is my favorite part of the system, which is this question mark. So this goes into, you know, screenshots. Are you reading? What do you want to do? I have worked for, in my career has always been account management. I have worked for some very large companies and of course, additional startups. And I have watched over the long span of time that I've been with those companies that their help center, again, gets robust, for lack of a better word, but you can't find anything. So it's so organized, you can't find anything. This is literally the best help center I have ever come across. We're constantly updating it like on a daily basis. So depending on what your learning style is, if you go into the help center, and let's say, you know, we'll use John as an example, like when we talked about tags. So if he, you know, obviously has had that question, again, the system is going to go and it's going to pull anything that has the word tags in it. And it's going to give you what we call an article, right? These are not, for the most part, like very long articles as I go down. But like I said, if you're like me, you're going to skip all this jazz and then you're just going to go look at the screenshots, right? Just because we know and we've been on the system, so we know what we're looking for. So since we're talking about tags, maybe my eye never saw that there's an area here for tags.
That makes sense,
yeah. So this is what John, you know, was talking about, and there's a little plus sign there, and then he would add his tags. So you can also remove them as well. You can change them. And then of course, like if they're paid tags, you know, like you guys do Google and Facebook, it will tag it when they come through the system with regard to where the lead came from. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So you could have more than one tags, you know, the system can send it up. It is a form of artificial intelligence. It's an AI. And then we have some other AI that's more like we have like additional AI that are paid services to where the AI constantly goes in and works leads. And you can always find that in the help center. But I just wanted you to see some things in here, so if I like wanted to add like if I'm like, what's a dialer or something like that, and I just typed in, anything with dialer, it's going to end up coming in and pulling in, and then you can see, kind of what that is.
Okay.
Go ahead. Any questions on that?
No?
Okay, cool. All right, so going back into that question mark, so you've got help center screenshots. I promise you, you will find the answers so much quicker. I sometimes like with agents that are new to the system, like if they have a question, then they'll like email me all the time. And I'm always happy to, provide information, but it's almost like gently nudging you out to that help center. I always put the article. But remember, we have a time change and I have clients throughout the day. So you're going to find it quicker if you go into that help center. So the help center is kind of broken out into the show me how. This is a large piece to the learning management system because it's going to walk you through step by step. So if I wanted to go and I wanted to add a lead, it's going to show me where to click. So it's going to say, oh, click here. And then it will bring me in and say, oh, click here, because maybe I never saw that, right on it. And then it's going to take me through. I haven't seen any, like the clicks are anywhere between like 2 to less than 10. Like we don't have you clicking, all over
day.
the place. Yeah, all day, all day, all night. But if you go in there, you'll be able to just see some of the features that are in there, if it's in here. But if it's not in here, then you can always go into, so like I put in tags, right? So that's not one of, the features that are in there for this, but of course it's in the help center with those screenshots. And if you look at the show me how, let's see, it doesn't have it. Actually, it's in the, if I go then into, let me see here, the actual learning management system, which is a part of it. Do you see these? It'll track your completion, like if you decide to go in and look at anything, but I want to point your attention to the time. 1 minute, 8 minutes, 2 minutes. I mean, you literally could be like waiting for an Uber and just pull this up, to figure out like what's on there. What do I want to learn? All right, I want to set up lead capture, and it's literally like a 2-minute video. So I spend a little bit more time on that in training because we do, and we've made it this way, is because we don't want you frustrated to where you're not using Chime. And especially because Greg, like, you're paying for it and you want to see that engagement from your team. And, of course, we love seeing agent adoption. Now, if it's just not in here and you're just, sometimes you're like, you know what, I just want to like talk to someone, right? So there's a few things you can do. There's a number here, right? Don't worry about these times, right? They're Eastern times. We pretty much run 24/7. So you're going to get a live person. You can, through the contact us, you can do it here. After this call, I'm going to do a post-call wrap up and I'm going to send Greg a resource for you, because I would prefer just, do I think it's faster? Sure. But I think it's faster if you just email support@chimeinc.com and I'll get you that in a resource. And when you do that, if you have a screenshot, that will make it go a lot quicker. So what's obvious to you may not be obvious to them. I'm decent with tech and I know the system, but there are times where I will put something in and I'm super confident about it. And then other things I'm like, I'm pretty confident, but sometimes I go out to support. So Greg, when you send anything to support, I would prefer, like on these bigger issues, that you CC me.
Yep.
And if anyone on your team wants to CC me as well, I encourage you to do that, because if I start seeing, this is the way I roll. Not everyone's like this. If I start seeing a ticket that's out there for one of my clients and we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, I'm stepping in. I'm stepping in. And even if it's, on the weekend, if I see this, then I know that there's some sort of distress going on the agent's end, and I need to do some things and
Jump
make
in.
that. Yeah, but I'll need to do some things on my back,
Yeah.
the back end of the system to make this move along. Sometimes you'll get a note from me that says, hey, I am watching this a little bit closely. So, and I do the same with all agents. I'm the same.
Their
across the
support
board.
is amazing though. Like we were actually at a networking event last week, and one of the agents kind of brought up a point when they're searching the site is like from a consumer standpoint.
Mhm.
If they click, if they're scrolling, say Jupiter listings, and there's 1,000 of them, and they scroll halfway down the page, they click on that listing. When they click on that listing, there was no back button. So anytime they hit like back, it brought them back to the first listing on that Jupiter page.
Yeah.
And you just kind of lost your scroll sequence, right?
Yeah.
So I actually emailed support, and I think it was like 9 o'clock when we have it Wednesday, right? 9 o'clock on a Wednesday, and they resolved the issue by like 9:30 that night. So then they could click on that page, and then it opened up a new tab already, as opposed to, so like the support is amazing. And I know a lot of agents have done that. Yes. I know a lot of agents have done that, and they've, everybody's had really good luck with support, which is great, because support is, like you said, it's hard to come by, and it's hard to come by good support. So that's
let me tell you. So we started out on Chime on the mobile app, which I encourage everyone to download that mobile app, and there's screenshots in there if you just put download Chime mobile app. So we started out as a mobile app, and our owner, Joe, he's from China. So he lives here. So we have a whole China support, which is 12 hours difference. So that's why, like, you're getting, like, when we're done, and 24/7, and they're not third party, like they're Chime employees. They're Chime. That button, when did you do that?
That support question?
Yeah.
That was last Wednesday at like 9 p.m. something like that. Yeah, and I actually wrote, I didn't do support either. I've always kind of worked with Charlotte for support, and she, like, I don't know, she's always just helped. So I don't know if I'm still doing the right thing, or if I should just go to support. But every time I've written her, she's always written back in the snap of a finger, no matter what time, know. And I didn't know to CC you, honestly, Megan. So that's good to know going in the future for the agents as well. But the support, I've always been extremely impressed with the support, because that's
you're lucky. Like, but I mean, like I said, everyone's good, but Charlotte is amazing, and obviously, she'll do what she can there. You have that, you have that inroad. But whether you go to support or you go direct to Charlotte, that's funny you mentioned that button, because I had another client that mentioned that button, and this guy is like super techie, and he was like, Meg, he goes, this is ridiculous. He goes, I don't know why I have that, and my agents like get lost, the whole deal. And I was like, hey, let me go out, let me do this. He tried to do this before, and not with me, but he, when he was under another account manager, and then we rebalanced, he's like, I can't believe you got this done so quickly. So if I can do it, I will do it. And he's just happy. So there are times where we can customize, like I'm talking about with that ocean view, if it's not quite what you want. And other times, we have to put it on the roadmap. But if you go in to, I don't know if you're familiar with the Chime user community.
On Facebook. Yes. Yeah. So I'm a member, and I think some of the agents are members, but I'm trying to highly push that, because that's such a great area to, which we're kind of like, side note, we're kind of looking at doing something different with our paid leads. We're looking at keeping the same provider, but I'm sure you've heard of Brian Short. We're kind of talking back and forth with Brian Short as far as doing account management from the paid advertisement aspect of it. And this was like the forum was incredible. Like, people will tell you the truth about it. You have questions regarding Chime, like the user forum on Facebook is incredible. I love it. And then the webinars and podcasts. I mean, like,
we've
just like
got
you're on
you
right
covered.
now.
We've got you covered. Like, they're all affiliates of ours, and like, we bring them in for meetings. Like, this isn't just someone, it started out for someone that was like super gung ho with Chime, and then they like go really deep. And now we're more collaborative. I jump in, some of the other, some of the other CSMs will jump in. But again, if you're just waiting around, if you're at an airport, and you just want to log in, like it's so crazy because some of the stuff like I've never even heard of, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
People put screenshots. This isn't support though. So don't
Yeah.
get it
Don't
twisted
confused.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get confused there. But like they'll put things in here and they'll be like, oh, exploring hiring or, AI assistant question.
Yeah.
This stuff gets answered so quickly. It's ill, like how quickly it gets answered. So I would really prefer if everyone would go into that group and be a member of that group. So the last thing I'm going to go over, so I don't take up too much of your time here, is I want to go into the people's page, because this is where, all the leads live, and this is where, you're spending most of your time. So things that I've noticed are not with you guys, but like when you have your pipelines here, there are some individuals that don't like to use pipelines, so they keep everything over here. Like people are like that with email too. They don't use folders.
Yeah.
But I would encourage you, to really use the pipeline. And then of course, underneath, we have these columns, right?
Yep.
So for instance, I'm just the type of person that like whatever's on my screen, like sometimes I have this visual perception issue where I can't see, I forget about what's going
All
on
that.
here.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because I can't see it. So what I'd like you to consider doing is, and I'll send you a little short video because I make videos too. This column up here, everything is checked here, right? So everything is checked here that's going across here. If you don't want something on there, let's say, oh, I don't want the lender on there because I'm not using it, then you just uncheck it, right? Or like a coordinator. But I like things to be orderly. So there's certain things that I like that I want in order. And I pretty much have them on the screen here, but I like the name of the client. I like the pipeline, the lead score, last visit, last time they went to the site, when did they register on the site? Last touch. So let's say you wanted last touch to be like under pipeline. See how I'm just dragging it and it's
moves,
changing
yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
It moves, but that's gonna totally change your day because you're gonna see the most important here. So if you forget to scroll all the way over, then that's okay because you have your most important.
Now, Megan, is that each agent in their pipeline or their lead source is able to do that, or is that a broker function? That's okay. So every agent, awesome. That's really cool.
Every agent.
So everybody can customize their own.
Yep.
Cool.
Something that you guys are doing, that you all are doing well, is with this column. This is a beast. I see it all the time. I constantly have to train on it. This red take action means that you're not displaying whether you texted, whether you called, whether you emailed, whether you shouted from a rooftop. So if I go into Snoop, and let's say you're an agent that has like all this take action, this isn't for micromanagement, but like, if you go through and you need to find a lead, if Greg's going through, he may say, oh, hey, John, sorry to pick on you, John, but this isn't, you're good. I went into stuff. He may say, oh, John, like, are we missing opportunities here? Because you've got take action all the time. He may be like, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I totally like call these clients. So if you're using your cell phone, right, and you don't have the Chime app, you can't go. Yeah, it's not going to register because, and it won't register on the desktop either. So up here where it says note, go ahead and log it. Just log it. So if I log a text, text this client, for follow-up on Monday. If I put in there what went on, or I did a call or an email, it's going to log. But most of you see it's right here. And it says it's a manual text, which means I manually had to type it in. If it said auto, like here, auto email, that means, that was set up on like property alerts or whatnot that the system does auto.
So I wonder
bet.
if that has something to do with the lead routing then, because the way we set it up is like it goes to agent A. I forgot what it's called under Chime, but go to agent A, and if they don't answer within a certain amount of time, then it goes to agent B, C, D, so on and so forth. But the site is only going to register, and I kind of try to drive that into the agents is, hey, if you get this lead and you just call that number through your cell phone, the site doesn't register. So then that lead transfers to another agent, because I have that a lot. Agent will call and say, Greg, I just claimed that lead. Why didn't it work? And, everybody can see everything through the back end. They can see the same thing, but
Right.
you can see it on the back end where, just like you said, it says, manual text. Well, I know you just went into their number and texted them and didn't use it through the site, didn't use it through the app or on the desktop here. So the site doesn't know to register that
Right.
as a logged action, right? So
Right.
that's kind of one of the things we drive home with that too, is that's how you claim a lead. Otherwise you don't claim the lead, right?
Right. So I did see something on the back end, on the admin side, on your side. I took a screenshot of it. I want to send it to you because I want you to consider with the way that agents are claiming. Because
okay,
I want to make sure that they have ample opportunity. I'll show it to you. You'll look at it and be like, that's why
yeah,
that's
because
not safe.
I'm in between that, because we had blast alert, which was the best. Our numbers skyrocketed with the blast alert. However, you'll have an agent that has an assistant, or you'll have an agent that has, whatever it is, somebody that works for them, and their job is just to answer leads, right? So who's waiting on the leads? It's not fair to other agents. But in the same breath, the other agents, like if a lead sits there, the way we have it now, personally, I don't like it, but a lead can go to agent A. And if it ends up at agent Z, by the time agent Z answers, it's like 30 minutes, 35 minutes from when that lead registered. And we know the numbers, right? From when a lead registered, like you're supposed to be in contact with them within 5 minutes.
Right.
That's the last I heard. It could change from today's market, but so I'm not a huge fan of that. So I'm interested to see kind of what the proposal is, because
the pushback is, if I'm an agent, I'd be like, Greg, you sent me this, which is great, but I was also doing my job that I was showing. So I can't be in
everywhere.
2 places at once. So there's a way, like I'll present it to you and say, hey, I'd like you to consider this. And in this way, it gives everyone a little bit more breathing room to where they can do that. So I'll show you that. Since your email is integrated, like most of you have it integrated, if you don't, then I'd like you to do that. But when your email is integrated, it comes down here. So you don't have to do. So we're trying to alleviate, the heavy lifting. We're trying to alleviate that and free you up. Clients that have like call packages, right? Like the call will be recorded. It'll be right in here. So you don't really have to write any notes. And the same with text packages, because it gets recorded here. So that's kind of nice. So if anything you take away from here, please just note, because if you're out sick and like one of your colleagues, has to go, if you're like, oh, I need you to call or something, then that way someone's not coming in here and being like, what the heck was going on with this?
Everything's right in front of you.
So I want you to look at this, because down here in the activities, whenever you go into a lead, because you'll be able to see what the system did. And if there was any sort of lead routing in there, it will tell you, what were the details of that. So again, that's not, so you don't have to guess. The engagement is, here is what the system sets up, right? Those property alerts are always set up if search criteria was put into, for registration. Now, the search criteria that, the client put in is right here. But if you go here and edit it, like John was talking about, like we need more search criteria, right? Because all we're going to get are like 1,000 leads with this. And I don't want the client to have to sit and go through that. So when you go over here, though, it will help you with this edit button.
That's where you get everything.
This is where the details live. So, and of course you can plot things out in an area, like there's a little pen over, a little, So if you're just looking in a certain area, you can, plot it out.
Megan, can you just go, like, if you hit cancel and just show that one more time, if you don't mind?
Yep,
Some of us
no
have
problem.
Eyeballs.
There
Okay,
you go.
I'm
So
just
if
new-
I go right here,
And then see she's
Okay.
under the engagement tab.
mhm,
Okay.
See how you got activities, engagement, smart plans,
Right,
transactions.
so
yeah, I'll
contact
send you like a 1.5-minute video on it too. So when you're looking at your basic information, I always say make sure everything's clicked, if they want the 2 bedrooms, if they
Yeah.
want the 3. And of course you don't have to put all this out there, but it's going to be more expansive. And there's even more than this, depending on what needs to go in, but like property features and things like that. It's going to be more expansive depending on what the area is and what the lead is.
So
And then
Megan, real
you'll-
quick,
Yeah.
sorry. Like keyword, for instance. So when John brought that point up about the pool, for instance, because
Mhm.
obviously South Florida pools are a huge thing.
Yep.
When you do a keyword, like say I put on that, so on Snoop's criteria, I put in under their property alerts, I talk to them and Snoop's like, hey, Greg, I need to have a pool. Cool. I go into property alerts, I go to edit where you are. And then there's the keyword section under property details.
Right.
If I type in pool, how does it pull from the MLS on that? Because like, for instance, our MLS has like when you input a listing, it has a drop-down feature, private pool, yes or no. So if I put in a listing and put in yes for private pool, is that where Chime pulls in that keyword, or how do they figure that? Because I'm wondering, like, if we'll lose listings like in translation, like I want to make sure that we're getting every listing if possible. Like if I add pool, like does somebody have to have that in their broker remarks or public
Yeah.
remarks, or how's that work?
So great question. So at times, like I said, we're going to have to reach out to support and say,
Mhm.
hey, I need this field there.
Okay.
But let's say that field's not here, right? And you're just
Mhm.
going to take care of it like right away. When you go into the lead, you're going to tag it. So if you
Okay.
put like pool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it will find it and then it will tag it. And if it's private tag or something like that, it'll then just, it'll add it. This is a demo account, so you won't be able to see it, so much, but it will
Okay.
end up, right there.
As
So
you're tagging.
that way, yeah, so it will recognize it. I will send you a list of, it's in the help center, but this one's kind of wonky to find. I'm going to send you a list of the tags that are in there.
Okay.
That sometimes the AI assistant uses.
Cool.
But yeah, that's how you do it. So if you tag it yourself, because you're like, I know they need a big backyard.
Mhm.
So if you have it tag it by like big backyard, then you're going to be able to go into the lead and you're going to be able to, make sure that the search criteria is correct. But for the ones that I've seen, like with the ocean view, I will get you the final answer on that. I
Okay.
believe that it has to be a custom filter. So we
Okay.
can do that, and you won't have to go out every time. But I'll make it so it's going to be easier. You're Florida, so you have to have a
Yeah, because
pool.
we had when we first signed on, there was no HOA. Like if you went under property alerts to edit them, there was no HOA range amounts.
Okay.
And HOA, HOAs are huge down here, so
Yep,
they
I had
added them
one.
in like a day. Yeah, it was like, and you can put in the price, minimum, max, stuff like that. So that was big help. So I was wondering if like adding in a pool section, because being in Florida, they
Yep.
added in the certain waterfront section too. But I was wondering if maybe adding a pool drop down, like pool yes or no, would maybe give us a better range of listings as opposed to just putting pool in the keyword section.
Correct. So I'm going to look for pool, and even I'm going to check
Okay.
on some of the HOA stuff that you said, and then waterfront, because that's
Okay.
different. Do they want, like we had a pool and waterfront, so we wanted
Well, they
both.
have actually on the waterfront, like if you click our drop down waterfront, they actually have a lot of options. It's like
Okay, good.
canal, oceanfront, beachfront, basin,
Good.
canal, like a lot of stuff. The problem is in our MLS, there's only a drop down that says waterfront yes or no. So if I'm
Right.
on a pond out in Okeechobee, I put yes, a waterfront, but I'm looking for a $5 million condo.
Right.
That is going to populate it in the MLS as that Okeechobee waterfront property, and it's a little different. So
Right.
but that's not Chime, that's the MLS. That's
Right.
their functions, their search criteria, their drop downs when you're putting a listing. So that's kind of
Right.
where I was like, it is what it is. If it sends to a client, it is what it is. It's not Chime's fault. It's not our fault. It's what the MLS inputs, because it's pretty vague in the I mean, I think the MLS should have a section where it actually puts in what kind of waterfront, but they don't. Just
Right.
yes or no.
Correct.
So I think there's some functions that we might not be able to key in because of that, which isn't our fault as Chime or us as agents. But the
Yeah.
waterfront section right now we have is pretty good. And then they got the HOA done stuff. The HOA was done, yeah, a long time ago. They did really well
So
on that.
that's
We're able to do
consistent. You're
minimum
seeing that. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
We'll go with
just
pool then.
pool. Yeah, I think if we could add pool, yes or no, that's huge in Florida, obviously. So especially with a lot of people not wanting a pool nowadays too. So
Right. Right.
Yeah,
See, we
that was
need
the
pools
only-
out here because we just
There's no water. Yeah, you're landlocked, right?
yeah, it's pretty landlocked. Well, we got big lakes here. We
Yeah,
do.
you gotta
We
have
gotta
a
travel a
suit,
little bit.
right?
Yeah, we got that. So, and then here we talked about, lead score. So I just want you to see, you're always going to see the lead score here. And if you touch analysis or hover over, like you saw me, it's going to tell you what the top indicators are, but you can move this web out and this, or this web will move out with the engagement with the client. So that score will change depending on the engagement with the client. Yeah. So that
See,
will,
and then analysis.
Yeah, see under insight and then lead score.
Right.
And then if you click analysis.
you'll see it. So this one's been inactive for 22 days. So then it will start to go, it'll start to go down.
Going down.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. And you can hover over here, lead score, or you could just click there.
And
Got
that's kind of like AI in itself, right? So like, it doesn't matter what time of day it is. If this person, now that you said it has inactivity, if Lucy comes on the site right now, the site's automatically going to recognize that. And then her lead score may go up to 75, 80, whatever it is. So it's not like this is a once a day thing or once a week where it pulls in lead scores. It's 24/7. That's what's great about Chime is the AI. Like the opportunities for me, for my personal opinion, is the coolest thing about this site ever.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that the emails are integrated and they actually go out.
Yeah.
Earmuffs, but we were on sync before you guys.
Right.
And
Right.
that was number one, it wasn't user friendly. And number two, it was just emails did not work. We had like a 30% email open rate. And I'm talking, that was for property searches. So if I have 1,000 clients, 300 of them are getting my property alerts. That's unacceptable. So like by integrating the email was huge with you guys. That's our email open rate is insane.
If you're integrating, like I said, if you're not, like, don't hold this information in your head. I mean, we do for each agent, we do a reporting to where you can see, here, like what you're doing. So of course, dummy account, but if I could look this month, or I could look, last month, and I could see what's going on. I oftentimes do see that 2 emails went out. So if you're looking at this and you're like, this is not correct, so I need to know about it. But especially what I need to know is, are you integrated? Like, are you using the system, or are you notating? Because if you're not using notation, then, and that's like anything, putting a lead on anything, or putting a note on anything. But, and then from a owner admin standpoint, Greg, you can see the team. But again, those numbers can be skewed based on what's going on, with the agent. But, this is very helpful in order for you to take accountability in terms of what's going on. So you were talking about open rate. Right. So if I'm an agent and I'm looking at the overview, right, and I'm looking at it by email, I'm going to be able to see everything that's going on. If I'm having a high bounce rate and stuff like that, like I need to look at, maybe I was 1 letter off or something like that in the email, but it'll calculate how many I sent, how many were open, and how many were replied to.
Yeah, so, that's great functionality for agents to see what's really going on the back end of things.
Yeah. And lastly, I checked everyone's settings again, which were like super cool. You won't see it in mine, but everyone did have it. Like this turns blue in order to make sure that you have your credentials in there.
Oh, cool. For the MLS.
Yeah. So that's good. Always make sure your signature. These 2 areas here, like preferences, if we go back to lead routing, make sure, everyone, that you have this set on a 24-hour loop. So whether it's 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., because this is directly tied to lead routing. So if a lead comes in and I have 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and someone's up late and they register at like 10 o'clock, and someone's, an agent happens to be up, well, of course they're going to be able to claim it because they're on 24 hours. The person that has 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. will never see it, because lead routing is tied to 24 hours, because we don't know when a potential client is gonna register. So I would like everyone to consider 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. If you're on vacation, to switch yourself to vacation mode. If you are using assistants, you can add an email here to where they are getting the alerts and whatnot, along with you. They can't see all the personal emails that you're sending out. They just get the alerts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And last thing is these notifications here. Everyone did well, like pretty much have the default notifications on that Chime suggested. I just want everyone to check out their opportunities, because I wasn't seeing a lot that had the text turned on. And to me, I would think that if you're out in the field so much, that you would want the text turned on, because you're going to probably get that faster in your email. But that's, of course, a personal preference. But
Yeah,
you can go
that's
through and
actually
see
a
what
good
you want.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I have.
I have a question.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, Barbie.
No, go ahead.
One question for you, and then excuse me, Barbie's got a couple questions for you, Megan. My question, which I don't know if it's a functionality now or in the works, so I just maybe throwing it out there, but is there, or in the future, an ability to, when a lead comes in, one of the biggest kind of issues that I have right now, which I don't know, Megan, if you're seeing from the same perspective on the back end, is pipelines. I'm trying to drive it into the agent as far as like lead homework, right? So 30 minutes a day on their own account, on their own time, go into their CRMs, do their lead homework for the day, and then make sure everybody's pipeline the way it is. Because like you said, when you're on the people section, having your pipeline as far as contact, attempted contact, that, new leads, attempted contact, all that makes it so easy for agents to do proper follow-up. So if I want to come into my leads and I'm up at 7 a.m. and I say, hey, I'm gonna do my lead follow-up for the day, I can go into the lead section and just hit attempted contact where there's 100 leads, right? Now I know those leads have been contacted, so I need to start reaching out to them, whether it's via email, text, phone call, whatever. But a lot of agents are getting the leads in and they're not switching that pipeline from new leads to attempted contact or whatever their pipeline is. So it makes it hard, especially once they start, they get leads after leads after leads, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I got 100 leads in here. Now I really need to come through for 4 hours and really audit my own system. So is there a way that it could auto apply a pipeline like in the future?
There is a way.
There is.
I will
Because
tell you what that way is.
Would be incredible.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what the way is.
Okay.
The manual way obviously is up here for the pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for you to choose which one you want it in to move it. Now,
Okay.
there's two logics here. We do it this way. We don't do it automatic all the time. It's because this is about accountability, and we want agents and everyone to stay in control of their pipelines and their leads and where they're at in the pipeline. That's just cleanup, right? That's just housekeeping. Again, it's like email. Do I want to file them into my folders so I can find them later? This is the same.
Yeah.
So the only way that you are going to be able to have some the change automatically, and we may want to do the second training on this, is if you go in through the design center and you do smart plans.
Okay.
So let me show you this. If you do smart plans, these things look crazy. Like when you look at them, like when I first saw them, I was like, this looks crazy. Like I can't even process it visually. So here's what I'd like you to do. And I would like you to set up one smart plan. Okay, just try one. Here, they'll show you all the smart plans that you have. These were the ones that I set up. Auto apply, you can see they are on off. Do not turn it on unless you really want to use it. Okay, but what I'd like everyone to do is just look at the library. So if you go into the library, we've made all the smart plans. We
Mm.
made them. We give you the foundations. We give you the bones of this. So if I'm going to look at, oh, let's see, you can use any one of them. Curator is a partner of ours. They tell us that these have high open rates. So if I'm going to look at my nurture, right? I'm going to look at my nurture pipeline, and I can always filter it down. These are just all of them. So if I look at like nurture and I'm going to look at buyer leads, well, this smart plan says the scenario is a nurture. It's a drip campaign, which is a smart plan. I got to look here because I just want buyers. And then there's 17 steps that are going to be taken on this over 458 days. And because I don't want to deal with it. So I want to make it automatic, like my emails are going out, all that kind of stuff. Of course, you may go in and try to, have a call or anything like that. So if I say, you know what, I like this, I'm going to import it because I want to import it into my smart plans. I want this. So I go to the import. I can change it to whatever I want. I make sure that it looks as the buyer. We've set it up to where the conditions are already set. Okay, they're already set. Here, we've set this up. Now, notice here, this smart plan will stop. It will auto pause when an outbound call is logged as talked. Remember that note?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't put notations in there, it's not going to do that.
Yep.
But as a fail safe, I always say, check that box. The lead responds or reaches out, right? That's kind of your fail safe. So everything's in here. You can customize this for what you want. If you're like, oh, heck no, I'm not doing 458 days. If you don't want a step, you can delete it, right? If you say, okay, I want this smart plan on and it's going to wait 15 days to have this email go out, you may say, I'm not waiting 15 days. I'm going to wait 5 days, right? So you're changing it, right? But you have to be attuned to how these smart plans work. If it says auto email, it will automatically go out. If you just change it to email, the system is going to send you a reminder that you need to send an email. Okay, just do auto. Just do auto. If you like what's in here, leave it. If you want it more in your voice, keep it. Now, to answer your question, if we go all the way to the end, right? The smart plan's working. You don't have to do much. It's documenting. It's all good. And when you get to the bottom step, and you get to choose how many steps you want, that bottom step will say, all right, I'm done with 17 steps. This person is cold. Change the pipeline. And it will automatically move it and put it into, cold, right? We'll just put cold. So it will automatically do it, but it will only do it if you're using a smart plan. And you could have 2 steps in a smart plan. You can say, no, yeah, I want to delete it. No, I don't want it. So if you set everything up and you like it, once you save it, and this is just because I'm playing with it. Once you save it, then it goes back into my smart plans. And then it says, okay, now turn it on. It'll tell you to turn it on here. Some people turn it on first and then they start going through it. Don't do that because it's going to search everything in your database. It's going to search, but you just save it and then it's in your, then it's in your smart plan.
So essentially, and you can make like one of those steps in the smart plans, you can make like change pipeline, and you had it kind of on auto apply, right? To automatically change that pipeline based on an action. But can you do it where it says change pipeline, where it's like a text or an email where it reminds the agent to change the pipeline so they can know? So essentially, I can make a smart plan to auto apply for every single lead that comes in. That is a 1-step smart plan that reminds the agents to change the pipeline?
Sure can. So look here. So like, just so I can show you how I save it, it's saying, hey, you need to put a subject line. Okay, so let's say it's intuitive. It'll say, do you want this? I'll say, oh, are you looking for anything else? Right. So I'll go here right before the end. See how it's add another
Nice.
step, see all
Yeah.
these other steps. So if I go and I say, okay, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and let me see it here. If I want to do other, follow up with my lead, right? If I just want to do that, remind assignee, there's a box here. Remind assignee, do you want reminder by an SMS,
Oh,
a text, or do you want it by, don't do call, but that's for, call packages. So you can have that there. And you can also do, if it lets you do a task in there, but just know this, if it says that you're supposed to do a task and you do not do it, Smart Plan cuts off.
mm,
So you can't skip a task because it's steps. And so it will always come to the top and tell you that you have a new task due. So it's automatic that way.
interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it's automatic that way.
Hmm.
And then it will go, I just want to see here. But a lot of them do have, in here that you can just most of them, depending on what you want to do, they will be in there. But for what you're also talking about, Greg, you can also do at the team level, like there's team smart plans here. So, you can go through and add a new one. And then you can just put it as reminder to check your, I don't know, reminder to check your leads and whatnot. And you can assign everything to the agent. And if you're like, oh, well, I want you to check all your leads, right?
Hmm.
And then if you want, you can, you can do the other. And then it's assigned to the agent, and then, follow up on my lead.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I can
And then that'll
not
be
only
in
can the
there.
agents use it for leads, I can use it for agents.
You can use it. You can use it for agents. Yeah. And then it will also tell you, it'll give you a report and tell you how many went out, how many were paused. Just know if you assign yourself a task and it comes up over here and you do not, it'll give you the reminder. And if you want it by text, it'll give it to you by text. But if you do not go and check it off that says, yes, I did this, and you think, whatever, just let the smart plan run, it's going to
won't run.
pause. Yeah, it'll stop.
Which is another big reason to make sure that your app is up, right, and running
Yeah.
properly, and notifications are proper, because you can wake up in the morning. Again, that's kind of like where your lead follow-up is. You can wake up in the morning and say, look at your phone and go, here's all my tasks for the day for these leads. Once you've got a certain amount of smart plans applied to leads, it's going to remind you every day. There's your lead follow-up for the day, right? You wake up, you go boom, 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 send your texts and your emails, make your calls, or the case may be, and then you're done, right? So
yeah.
Make sure
and you have
just
to work
those
up to
leads.
that kind of automation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even though, it's about to be 2022 and we live in a very tech heavy world now, sometimes me, sometimes I'll turn off automation for some of the other things that I work in because I want to stay in control of it. So I'm the manual stuff. But when you have leads coming in, depending on what it is, and you got to jump quick because potential clients, they'll just leave you. They don't care. They'll email 5 agents. So you've got to make sure that you're on top of it, and that's where the automation will come in to help you so you stay on top of it.
And the great thing too is, because a lot of questions we have agents that are like, hey Greg, I'm nervous about smart plans because of the automation, but it's the best of both worlds. The automation can be personalized, like you showed, Megan. You can go in there and you can edit every single email, every single text that goes out. So it's the same thing as writing a text message to your client right now on your cell phone, but it's doing it automatically. It's taking the weight off your shoulders. So it's not like you can't edit that smart plan. Everybody can edit a smart plan, which is
right.
So you have automation with personalization.
Yeah, here's a buyer no response. It'll show you everything that's going out. I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe you don't want to change anything. Maybe you're like, yeah, I like that. I just want it to pause when they reach out. And it's got, it's got 7 steps, and okay, well, I'm cool with it not having, 7 steps. You just delete it, and then you just change what you want. Just look for the drop downs. And then, if you're like, oh, this one's kind of cool, you know, and then I saved it and then I went to my smart plan and there it was. There it is right there. And if you're like, oh, I kind of want to go back and I kind of want to change it, you can just go back in and you can edit it.
That's
But I
awesome.
would say I tell clients level up to smart plans.
Mhm.
So just go and do one, see how it works. Don't do your whole
Yep.
database
Yeah,
and go from there. So I will send you just as a resource. It's already on the resource that I created,
cool.
but I will send you, we have a webinar on smart plans if y'all want to do that asynchronous. And we also have some additional information in there. And if you want me to come back and like create a couple scenarios like for smart plans, like if there's something, you know, you want me to do, I'll do that. I encourage you to do it because it's a library. You can't mess it up unless you auto put it on O1.
Auto apply, cool.
But only do the libraries first, and then you,
Okay.
but you can do the one that you want. At least go
Yep.
in there.
Yeah. And I think Barbie had a couple questions for you too, Megan.
Go for it, Barbie.
Okay, hi Megan.
Hi.
I am new to Chime as in
Mhm.
like the past week. However, this is similar, so I'm pretty much getting the hang of things. I exported my Outlook contact database to Chime.
Mhm.
So now, not thinking about it, I have people that I want to delete. For example, Walgreens in Orlando obviously does not need to be in there.
Are you
So
sure?
when I go to my people page and I
Mhm.
click on it, because I did go through the training stuff, there should be 3 little dots or something when you click on Snoop or whatever.
Mhm.
Now go back. If you go back and check next to Snoop's name in the checkbox
Mhm.
on the left, then there should be a delete tag
Okay.
from your training, and I don't have that.
Oh, okay.
That's probably because I don't, as the admin, don't have it set up where agents can delete leads.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll make Greg help me out with that.
Yeah.
That
What,
was,
what we generally do is we have them just like, if it's a big thing, you just write me something, like write me an email, and then I'll just delete all the leads.
okay.
Because otherwise what I've had done a lot, and I'm sure Megan can attest this, is like agents will make 2 or 3 phone calls to a lead and be like, oh, this lead's crap, and then just delete the lead when the
Yeah.
lead is really not
When it
that
should be a
bad.
bad
Yeah.
call or
yes,
lost,
exactly. Or it's, or like numbers show you that you really have to make 7 calls until on average you get your
Right.
first
Yeah.
contact with that
All
lead.
agencies do this, by the way.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
all do it to where you can't delete it. And then,
No,
you know,
it's a great question.
you-
No, it's a great question
yeah.
because I have that all the time, to be honest. It's a great
I
question.
made a separate folder and it says bad leads.
Yeah.
I just need to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just, you know, make a separate
Yeah.
folder, bad leads, or just
I
until
know.
you get with Greg, you know, make,
That's
you know,
it.
additional pipeline. Yeah. And I will make available to, I don't do this for everyone, but you know, we're hometown. If there's anyone that is not comfortable, you know, doing trainings in group environments, because you really do have a lot of questions. Just, you know what, just, you know, Greg, you know, you can either go to Greg or just go to me and we'll schedule, we could do a one-on-one. I won't
Cool.
bill you.
Your
Yeah.
training is excellent. The training that I've been going through with the videos and things like that
Yeah.
is incredibly self-explanatory. I
Yeah.
mean, I am not a techie, and
Mhm.
this stuff is easy.
Yep.
So
You just have to know where
I
to
just
find
need to
it.
harass Greg a little bit more.
Yeah, anytime you all want trainings, I'm going to find out what the topics are and then please answer it. Like if it says, do you want training, and you don't want training, just put no. If you want to put your name on it, you can. The only thing that I share with Greg is I don't share any names or anything like that. I just share like, you know, 50% of your people wanted this or 80% of your people wanted this. I don't share any names or anything. I'm not down with that. So I just share like what y'all wanted.
Love it. Yeah, I'd like to be able to maybe do this a little more frequently with you too, Megan, if it's not an issue.
Nope.
I know
Nope, not
the
an
agents
issue.
like it, and it's good to really get it out in front of everybody too, from somebody aside from myself that just kind of says it day in and day out to them as well. You know, it's a good resource for them to be able to chat with you without inundating you 24/7 with emails, calls, or texts, you know?
Yep.
So,
Yep. I think it's good. I would encourage you too, like as you bring on new people, and I know we talked about that briefly. I sent you an email on it last week.
Yep.
As you bring on new people, new agents, like you probably will, I don't care if it's one, or two. Let's try to do like, a new hire onboarding with Chime, so we can just get them situated
Comfortable.
and bring them up to speed with
Oh,
everyone
that
else.
would be great. That would be great.
Instead
Yeah.
of having the whole team, so they have to,
Yeah.
sit through redundancy.
Even if that was like once a month, so it's not a
Mhm.
big bother on your schedule.
Mhm.
If somebody signs on the first of the month or something, what I generally have them do is go through the videos anyways, so they can kind of get comfortable with the CRM from the basic aspects of it. And then we sit down with them and kind of go through it a little more in depth. But that would be awesome if we could do that, where I could just have them go through for a week or two on there, get it comfortable. And, that way they can, really feel comfortable, especially speaking with the Chime rep too. So
Yeah.
that
And
would
for
be
my
great.
clients, I set up a resource. I'm kind of into resources, but I like them where they have clickable links. I set up a resource for someone that is a new hire, where they should be over a 45-day period with Chime. That's doable. So
Awesome.
I set it up for like, in the next 1 to 5 days, you would do this. In the next 5 to 10 days, you would do this. So I think you'll like that.
Yeah,
And
that sounds
again,
awesome.
let's get them trained. And I don't want anyone to worry about this. I will tell individuals, like, don't worry about that. You don't need to know smart plans. You're new. You don't need
Mhm.
to. You don't need to know that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe after 45 days, we'll level you up and do that.
Yeah, like you said, it's like the how-to videos and stuff. There's some I kind of tell them at first, like, don't even worry about like inviting a lender or doing this or doing that. There's a couple of them that you just don't need to inundate themselves with too. So like that's a great point. So
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
doing
that
a
lot.
newer resource that just has, like, with that roadmap, I'm doing a newer resource to where I actually pick all the topics that I think that they should look at. So just for a newbie. And so I'll get that over to you. I'm working on that
Cool.
now. And
Yeah,
then,
that'd
like
be
I said,
awesome.
I'll do the post call wrap up. I'll send you the resources. You can send it out to the team. I'll look into the pool, right?
Cool.
So give me a
Yeah.
couple days on that, and then I'll get you.
Yeah, and I
I'll
gotta
get-
I just haven't had time to look at the enterprise setup. I know you sent me the email, so
Yeah,
I
take your
looked at it
time.
briefly. I just gotta go through that. Now
No
with
time frame.
with the other office up in Stewart. So I definitely think it's something I need to research a little. Tula, did you have a question?
Do you fly to Phoenix?
Well, you know what would be cool is that I go up to Northern California a lot, so I've got some clients in the Sonoma area, but I need to get out there, and I need to get out there in 2022. So when I'm out there, I'll let you know, and if you want me to come in,
Yeah, we'd love that. That'd be
live
awesome.
stuff, yeah, I could do
Yeah.
that.
For sure. We'll bring some lunch in and get all the agents in, and
Yeah.
it'd be great to get you. That would be
But if
awesome.
you want the one-on-one, I'm making it. I don't do this, I don't do it very often, but you guys are hometown. It's good you're
I love
getting
it.
Jupiter. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take you up on that for sure, especially for
Cool.
the new agent aspect. I love it. So,
Cool.
Barbie, good.
I'm good. It's you I have to
Good.
harass.
It was good. Cool.
Yeah, and you
Awesome.
may get some NPS surveys, across, like, you may get them across the board. Be honest with them, if you want to talk to me about it first, do that. But when I get them, I do reach out to you, as an agent to say, hey, what happened? Let me help you with it.
Yeah.
Because some of these brokerages are so large, they get a little lost, they've got like, 50 agents. So if I see it, I reach out to the individual agent and say, what happened? And usually we figure out that, they're like, I can't control who's registering on your website, like they're bogus leads. Like I can't control the internet that way. So, could be something like that, but you're more than welcome to come to me direct, all of you. I'll take care of you.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I'll
It's
be in
been
touch.
awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Megan. Appreciate it as always.
You're welcome.
We'll
Take
chat with
care.
you soon.
Thank
You as
you.
well.
All
Have
right.
a great day.
Too.
Bye.